structure of a transformer?
It contains 3 panels: input, output, and defining metadata.
Very good. Input, output, and some scripting part which contains some syntax. What is the syntax?
Data view expression.
What is the syntax?
Output application, whatever we are, Java something, head, and then body section.
So in this structure, input, output, and this is called scripting part, which contains header, and this is a body, right? Whatever you write in the body will be converted into the format what you specified, right? Suppose there is a listener, HTTP listener. It is listening for a HTTP request. What this HTTP listener will do? Basic question. What this listener will do?
Listen to the request that we are sending.
Okay. Gauss, Dilip, Rahim, Vamshi, please respond. Rajesh, Sitaram, everyone, please respond. Unmute your mic and respond. Very basic question I am asking. What this HTTP listener will do?
Listens to the request and converts it into a Mule event.
Very good. Mule event, right? So assume I have one more request connector here. Request. What this request connector will do? It will receive the request. I mean, it will receive the event and request connector where we use in which scenario? Request connector we use for what? Request connector where we use in which topic we use the request connector? Consuming a REST API. Assume that this is a REST application. Okay. This request, we will map this request URL here. That means the REST application URL, and we are consuming the REST API, and it is giving some response. Assume that the response in a JSON format. It is giving some product details. Assume. Right. Now, that product details like prod ID, prod name, prod price, like that. This is the structure, right? Now, what will be the input to this transformer? What will be the input for this transformer? Yes. What will be the input for this transformer right now after the request connector?
We'll be passing some query parameters, product ID, name, and then price.
No. Rajesh, Karthik, Gauss. Very basic questions. I am asking very basic questions here. After this request connector, what will be the input to this transformer? Not aware. Not getting the point.
Whatever the values we provide the query params through the URL.
Basically, event structure, right? Attributes,
Payload.
variables. So what is the payload here? This JSON structure is the payload. Assume that
Yes.
this is JSON and JSON is the payload. Rahim, background noise, Rahim. Now, based on the payload here, what is our requirement? My client has given some requirement. What is that requirement? See, from third-party application, we are getting this structure. My client wants the data, only the data, and he want to map the data to his own fields, right? So based on the incoming, that means based on the incoming payload, we can write some data view expressions to transform from one format to another format. Suppose we are getting some JSON as an input to the transformer. Now I want to extract the payload value, that means the values in that, and I want to map to my own field. Like, say product ID, assume that 123. I want to extract the value as 123, but I want to map it to PID, my own field, and I want to write it in a XML format. So we can extract, we can write the data view expression here in order to extract the payload value, and we can map to our own field. Okay. So in order to write the data view expressions, we required a payload. Yes or no? Incoming payload. Yes, no? If you want to write, see, until unless we respond, we cannot move forward. This is a very important topic. I need to understand that whether you are understandable or not. If you are simply sitting, I can't move forward. Sorry. Tell me. So to write some data view expressions, do we require a payload or not?
Yes.
Yes, right. We require a payload. Then based on the payload only we can write a data view expressions. But when we are getting this payload, after deploying of entire application or before deploying the application?
Before deploying,
Before deploying the application, we'll get a payload. Then how request? See, after deploying the application, only the request connector will send a request to the third-party API, right?
Yes.
Then only we'll get the JSON response, right? This payload will get after deploying the application. But before deploying the application only, we can write a data view transformation logic. To write this data view logic, we require a payload. So there is a conflict here, yes or no? Once you deploy, we will get a payload. Based on the payload, we can write a data view expressions. But before deploying the application only, we required a payload to write a data view expressions. Yes. Understood my point here or not? At least tell me yes or no.
can you please explain once again, sir?
Okay. See, this is my Mule application. Okay. This is my entire Mule application, right? So what my client is required, he wants to communicate with the third-party REST API, right? Once you communicate, definitely he is going to give a response. The third-party application is going to give a response, some structure. Now he wants that structure to be converted into his own format, correct? So example, third-party application is giving some JSON as an output on the REST application, right? That will become a input to the transform, right? So that is the payload as of now. Based on the payload, I want to write a data view expression and I want to convert that into my client's format. To write this data view expression, on top of what we write this data view expression? On top of the payload, incoming payload, correct? When we will get this incoming payload? Once you deploy this entire application. Our agenda is what? Before deploying, I want this project to be ready with the data view expressions, correct? Got it? Before deploying, we don't have a payload. If there is no payload, how can I assume and write a data view expressions? To write a data view expression, definitely I require a payload. Payload will come only after deployment. So how we can write a data view expressions before deploying the application? Yes.
Got it, sir.
How? Why can't we create some sample structure? As an integration developer, definitely we need to know what is an input, what is an output structure, right? As an integration developer. So client will give, this is the requirement and this is the output we are going to get from the third party application. Accordingly, we need to create one sample structure of the incoming output, right? From the third party application. So that sample data will be given as a metadata to the payload in the transformer. Got it? That means simple. We are going to give this sample data as an input to the transformer. Based on that input, we are going to write some data view expressions, right? And when you are deploying the application, sorry, when you are developing this data view expressions and all, after writing one line or two lines, we cannot deploy an entire application. We cannot check every time. So there is an option called preview. What this preview will do? Preview. This preview, whenever you write a data view expression, accordingly the output will be displayed. Before, I mean, without deploying, immediately the output will be displayed. Suppose you have written PID 123, you extracted the value from the incoming payload and you map it to PID. This body, I want to get it in XML format. That XML format with these values will be displayed immediately whenever you write. Right, that is a very good feature given by MuleSoft to see the preview immediately. No need to wait or no need to deploy the application after eating each and every step. Got my point? Yes.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So we are using a data view language 2.0 is the version, right? 2.0. And in Mule 4 it supports only data view 2.0. Before this Mule 4, in Mule 9 we may use Mule expression language also, right? When you compare with earlier approaches, this data view expression language 2.0 is introduced, I guess it is in 3.3 or 3.4 versions, right? So why this data view is so powerful? Because with the combination of a transformer and the data view expression, it is 6 times far better than the earlier approaches. How can I say that? Because previous approaches, like if you want to convert from XML to JSON, we required one transformer. JSON to XML, one transformer. Like that, for every conversion, we required one transformer. But in Mule 4, when you compare with the data view 2.0, sorry, when you compare with the previous versions, in Mule 4, with the combination of data view 2.0, only one transformer is enough. Because simply you define the application here. That means what is the output type? Accordingly, it will be converted. Right? Understand? Theoretically understood what is the transform message here? What is the how transformer is powerful?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So right now I'm going to give some JSON, simple JSON structure as an input of the transformer, and I'm going to write some data view expressions. So see, this data view language, I'm going to give a framework only, but it's a again very big subject. Like Java only, in Mule, data view is a Java is a object-oriented programming language. This data view language is a functional programming. If you are from object-oriented, you need to habitate yourself for a functional programming. So that is the reason I'm asking everyone to purchase my another course called Data View Expression 2.0 in Udemy. Okay. After the completion of this transformer section today and tomorrow, I'm going to share you what is that link, how it will be and all, what is the price exclusive for my students. I'm going to give for the discount. It's a 5 hours only, exclusively only on a data view expressions. It will be very in depth. Okay. So in weekends also you can practice. Okay, it's lifetime access any which is in Udemy, right? So this is what. And next today and tomorrow session, what I'm going to discuss about the transformer, it's a framework, but we are going to see how to create a local variable, how to create a global variable, and how to use a predefined functions, how to create your own functions. All these things we are going to see. Please listen very carefully. Let me input. Zero one transformer basic start. Okay. First, assume that I am getting some request from my client like this 8081/transform, right? So let me open the transformer basic start. So first I need to configure a listener. What is the path? Path is a transform. Next, see here, for example purpose, I said request application. Okay, now in our demonstration, I'm going to send that body, this JSON body, by using a post method. Okay, from the client itself through a body option, right? Here I'm going to send a body. Okay, I'm not going to use any request connector in between and all. So let me use a transform message. What will be the input for this transform message right now? Yes.
Payload attributes.
What will be the input from the listener? What you are waiting? An event, right? Still, it is resolving the metadata here. Mine is 16 GB. Still, it is taking some time. Sometimes, if your metadata is not resolved, then go to some other component and come back again. It's like a refresh.
Okay.
So on the left side, you can see for a transformer, payload, variables, and attributes, right? Now, what I said, we don't know what is the output we are going to get. While developing stage, what we can do, we can create one structure. So I already created one JSON structure under the resources I have given to you here. Product JSON. What is there in the product JSON? Let's have a look. What is this?
Product ID.
What is the structure called?
JSON.
It's a JSON object. It's a JSON object which contains key and a value. So how to identify any object? How to create your own object? Curly braces represents an object or a map. Curly braces represents what? Map or an object. Square brackets represents what?
Array.
Array. Very good. Very good. And parenthesis, curly, I mean this parenthesis, two normal brackets are nothing but a parenthesis, right? In Mule, these curly braces are called as constructor of an object. If you want to create a new object, simply use these two curly braces. Okay, that is called constructor of an object. Got it? Remaining all are same. Now I have one JSON object. I want to give this JSON object as an input to the transformer. So how to give that? See here under the payload, we are going to give this JSON object as a payload only, no? So define metadata. So you need to create that structure. So what is the file name I can give? Product JSON. How many products I have? Only one product, right? So I'm just giving a product JSON. Create a type. What type of file I'm going to create?
Excel.
Huh?
Excel. Whatever you want.
How XML? I'm going to create a JSON, right? I'm going to create a JSON file now. I have an example in my build path. So let me browse for that that JSON file here. Under SRC, main resources product JSON. So this is the file I want to give as an input, right? So you able to understand my point? Here I created my own structure, sample example data. That's what I'm giving as an input to the transformer, right? Right click on that edit sample data. This is what I tried for. This is what the example I have given as an input, right? Now, this is the structure of a transformer: input part, output part, and the scripting part, which contains a header. 3 hyphens are nothing but a separator between a header and a body, right? Now, see, this is the view right now. I don't want this unwanted space in between. So there is a view here, 3 views. Click on the second view. Unwanted space will be removed. Now, simply use preview option. So right now I said in data view, if you use 2 curly braces, what it means?
An object.
Very good. So if I
Constructor
click on
of a
preview, constructor of an object, exactly. So, and what is the output format I have given?
JSON.
Java.
No. Java, right? Java here.
Well, here it is
Yeah.
now. Yeah, okay.
So finally, what type of object it is going to create here?
Java.
Very good. It's a Java object. Internally, it is using a linked hash map. Okay, it's an object. Internally, it is using a linked hash map. So if I use 2 square brackets, it's an array. It is using internally array list. Okay. Okay. Delete that. Let me write a payload. What is the payload? See, what I write payload. Payload means whatever the incoming payload. That's what I'm extracting here. Payload is a keyword in a data view. You know already, right? So in the body, I'm writing simply payload. It is converting into Java format and it is displayed here. So on the left side, it's a JSON object. On the right side is a Java object.
Java.
So very simple to convert from one format to another format here. Yes.
Yes.
Now I want to create a new object. How to create a new object?
Flower braces.
Curly braces.
Plus.
Right. Now I want to extract only this value, product ID value, and I want to map that value to my own field. I want to map that to PID. Colon. How to map that? Very good. Payload. In the payload. Dot represents a reference. Product ID.
Yes.
The field name. Okay, let me convert into JSON so it will be a readable format. So am I creating JSON object here?
It is.
My own format, right?
Yes.
Next, I want to extract an offer price. Second line will be start by using a comma separated value. That means by using a comma, right? So I want to get that offer price into OP. How to get that offer price?
Payload dot.
Payload dot offer price. So offer is a key and this is a value. In this value again we have a key and a value, right? So
Yes.
in the payload offer, in that offer price, so that you will get a value. Now I want to get an images, first image in that image is nothing but an array. Yes. So how to get a first image in that array? I want to take it into imgs. Yes. Now how to tell how we can tell you? Payload dot images is the key. Is it giving all the images? If I want to get the first image,
Image one.
Dot image.
no. It says how to extract any index by using an index value, right? We can extract any element in that array, right?
Yes.
By using an index value. If I remove this index value, it will fetch all the images. Okay. Now if I want to get a brand name, B name.
Payload dot
Payload dot brand. So it is not suggesting here. Have you observed? Because we need to use the comma. Now it is supporting. You can see.
Yeah.
Brand name.
Brand name. Got it? Next. Can we convert into XML?
Yes.
No.
I know.
Because we don't have any parent
Exactly, perfect. We don't have any parent element. So let me write a parent element here. Now I got that into array. Sorry, XML format.
XML.
XML format. Yes.
Okay. Now in XML, every tag will have some attributes, correct?
Yes.
So here for XML tag, version is the attribute and this is the value. Encoding is the attribute, this is the value. Right now, for the product tag, I want this PID as an attribute value. How to get it? Very simple. After the product, use at symbol and two parentheses and take this, whatever you want to add as an attribute, take that into. We need to use a space. You can see PID, is it added as an attribute here? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next. How many types of variables we have seen as of now? Variables. Okay, or else how to set a variable?
Set variable component.
Where
Using the set variable component.
Exactly. By using a set variable component, we can create a variable in the event. Is it a global variable or local variable?
global variable.
Local variable.
Global variable. That means wherever event propagates in an event, that means in the entire project level, there we can extract that variable once you create. Yes or no? Right?
Yes.
Now, the same thing I can do by using a data view expression also. Let's see. See, right now we are in a payload. From the transformer, what will be the payload? What is the format? Output of the format, XML format, whatever we have written in the body, that will be the ultimate payload at the end of the flow, right? Now,
Yes.
I want to create one variable for this offer price. So here there is a plus sign, add a new target. We can create attributes or variables. Right now I want to create a variable. What is the variable name I can give for that offer price? OFFPR, some name I am giving, right? Right now it is in inline. I want to externalize to some other file. What is the file name I can give? Offer price. See, immediately whenever I select that offer price, one DW file got created here. You can see under the resources with the name offer price, right? Okay. Now what we can write in the body to get an offer price? Payload dot
Payload.
Yes.
Offer price.
offer price. So where this expression is evaluated on top of which payload, whatever the payload we are getting as an input, on top of that payload it is going to get the offer price, and that value is getting stored under which
Variable. Offer price variable.
offer price
Variable.
which variable? OFFPR is the variable name.
OFFPR.
So if I use a logger, that means just if I want to extract that variable, since I created that variable in a transformer, can I extract that variable anywhere in the flow?
Yeah. Yes.
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 So how to extract a variable?
By
Where dot.
where dot
See,
no,
is it suggesting
offer.
here?
Yes.
Yes.
So is it a global variable now? Of course, yes, right?
Yes.
So what we have seen? We have seen how to create a variable by using a data view expression, right? Now go to the configuration XML and observe here. Did I use any set variable? Did I use any set payload? No, right?
No.
But in the transformer, you can see it is using set payload internally to set this expressions as a payload value. And one more thing, you can see set variable. It is using set variable in order to set a variable value. Got it? Now, can you please suggest me to create one more variable for brand name? We have offer price, right? Let me, please help me
Yes.
to create one more variable with a brand name. How to create?
Yeah. Click on person.
Variables.
Variable.
Variable name.
Here a brand B name file brand name.
Any name you can give. Just I'm giving for understanding purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Payload dot brand name.
Correct? Got it? So if you click on this drop down, we have a payload, variables, you can set an attribute also. It's if you require, right? Now I written some data view expression. I converted JSON into XML, Java, and JSON also, and we got a preview as well, right? Can I deploy this application and see?
Yes. Yeah.
If I deploy this application, and if I send this request, what is what you are going to get?
Product ID.
What will be the product ID? What will be the product ID?
1.
No, that's what. Purposefully I asked this question. So this is the example to see the preview immediately. That is the only option. Actually, when you really deploy this application, this product ID will be what is the body which you are going to get to the transformer, actual body. Got it? That means from the third party application, whatever the body you are going to get, on top of that, you are going to get a value. That means based on that actually. Let me, after deploying, let me show you. Yeah, it is deployed. Okay, let me give the same structure as a body. Right, but I will change this to 3 example, because in the example also I given a product ID is 1. Now assume that this is the real data which is coming from the third party application, right? And sorry, let me give a request. Yeah, it is throwing some exception. Why? Sorry. Yeah, what is the error here you are getting?
Should select the JSON format in the body place.
Exactly. It is expecting JSON as an input, but we are given a text. So what is the PID where are we getting here?
3.
PID is 3, right? That means my data view expressions, what I have written here in the transformer are going to, I mean, those are working on which payload, in the sample payload or the original payload? On the real payload, right? The original payload, right? Understand here? Understand or not?
Yes, sir.
So see, I am given very simple structure here as an input, because just to get a familiar of writing some data view expressions, right? But I'm thinking to stop here, because again, if I go much, tomorrow my candidates will start with me. So 1 second, guys. So okay, next step is I'm going to give some complex JSON as an input to the transformer. Complex JSON means what? On the left side, we are going to have an array. Array contains normally what? Array contains normally
Number of
elements. Array contains elements. Element could be of what type? It could be a string type or a number type or an integer type, or else any object type also, right? Now, right now, I'm going to give JSON objects as an elements in that array. Okay, so around six elements. That means 6 product details I'm going to give as an array as an input to the transformer. Now, what to do? I want to iterate over that array and I want to fetch the data, right? While fetching the data, I want to use some functions like map function, order function, filter function, all those predefined functions we are going to use. Okay. So for that explanation, I required one more project to be imported. That project is nothing but 02 complex transformation complex start project. Yeah, so this is the transformation complex start project here. Okay, now for see, I have a listener. You have one more flow. Ignore about that flow. We'll discuss that later. And I have a listener and I have a transformer. It's an empty transformer. So right now I want to give some complex JSON as an input. I created the structure here under resources products JSON. Let me show you that products JSON complex JSON. So is it an array? Yes, it's an array.
Yes.
This array contains what?
Yes.
Elements.
Object.
Elements.
Each element of what type?
Object type.
Object type.
Empty.
It's an object. Now I want to give this as an input sample data to my transformer. Can you please help me out? How to give that?
Define metadata.
Define metadata. 1 second. Yes. Add a file.
Product details.
JSON.
Then simple. Yeah.
Previously I have given one object. Right now array of objects. Right. Yeah, I have given as an input. Now, if I want to create a new object, curly braces, right? Now,
Yes. Yes.
if I write a payload, you will be getting in a Java format, right?
Yes.
JSON. XML.
In JSON, JSON format,
JSON.
right? What is this
Yes.
format?
Data view.
Data view format. Are you feel any differences between the JSON and data view formats?
No.
Nearby.
No. No.
No. Just observe.
Simple version of JSON format, right? Data is. We are ignoring the.
Maybe keys are acting as variables.
No. This is a data view expression. That means it's a native format of a data view. So if you are writing simply JSON here or a Java, whatever the format you are defining under the output, do you think it's straight away converting from JSON to JSON or JSON to Java? No. First, it will convert internally to data view. From there, it will convert to whatever the format you specified here. Okay. Maybe in the certification perspective, this is the one point. Okay. So it will convert first into data view native format, then it will convert to any other format what you specified. Got it? Now, whatever, see this payload, is it an array?
Yeah.
Yes or no? To iterate over this array, I want to iterate over this array, I want to get ready for all the elements in that array. So how to use that? So in data view, we can use a function called map. So how many empty objects you are able to see in the right side array? That means is it iterating over on the payload? What I have given here?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Now, if I want to extract a product ID of each and every element, and I want to take a PID. So PID, current element in that array will be represented by dollar dot product ID. So am I getting the product ID from all the elements in that array?
Yes. If it's current element, it's the first one or like.
What first one?
I mean, you choose a dollar dot product ID, right?
Yes.
Dollar represents the
Current element. See, when the control, while it is looping, iteration means what? Looping. While it is looping, the control, when the control is in the first element of that array, that is called a current element. If the control is in the second element, that is a current element for that. That is why whenever it is looping, it is giving that related value while looping.
okay.
See, brand name. Got it? Iteration. While iterating, dollar represents a current element. Offer price?
Current element is like whatever we select, right? From the list.
No. See, element. I'm not talking about in that object key value. I'm talking about element in that array. This is an element. Okay, in this element, I want to extract a brand name when the control is in this element while iteration.
Okay.
Okay, while it is looping, when the control comes to the second product, that will be the current element. In that element, again, I'm extracting that particular field. Got it? Dollar.
Yeah.
See where it is iterating. It is iterating on this array. While iteration, I want to get the current element. Element means in that array, not the field. I think you are thinking about dollar represents a product ID. No, it is representing the element in that array.
Complete element, yeah.
Dollar dot offer price.
Yes.
Right? Let me convert back to this. Got it here? Right? So one function I used. What is the function called? Map function. If I hover the mouse onto the map, what is the first type? First argument type of that map function?
Array.
Array. That's what. See, we can write in data view, we can write the first argument on the right side of the function name. Normally, how you will write a function? This is the format. This is the first argument, comma, and second argument, like that. Correct? Right? In data view, we can write in this format also. First argument can be right on the right side of the function name. Got it? So, is it an expression which gives this array? I mean, my own array? Yes. This expression is giving this array. Yes or no? My own array. Right?
Yes.
If we want to use some other functions on top of this expression, I need to reuse that again, right? So instead of reusing, that means rewriting that expression, why can't I take that entire expression into some variable? I'm declaring some local variable in the transformer by using a where as a keyword, writing as my products. Simply use that variable name. Got it? Now on this my products, we can write any function. Again, we can use any functions like order by, filter by, and everything. Right? Understand? Simply I have taken into variable. So this variable, what I declared here, is a global or local?
Local.
It's a local to the transformer. We cannot extract this variable or we cannot use this variable out of the transformer, outside of the transformer. Got it?
Yes.
So much complex scenarios we'll try to discuss in tomorrow's session. By the time you should, you just practice the scenarios. That means whatever we discussed. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to see much complex scenarios. Okay. Thank you.
So timings, tomorrow timings.
6:30.
Tomorrow.
6:30 or 6.
This week I will continue with the 6:30 only. Tomorrow only the last date, right? Okay. I will go ahead with 6:30. From Monday we'll start with a 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for